Hi guys, it's Miss Malazzi. I know in your math classes you're learning volume and surface area, so I thought we would review it in Math Lab as well. Just to start off, we're going to look at volume. Volume is actually the space inside a three-dimensional figure, okay? So volume is like if you're stuffing something inside of a box or if you're putting ice cubes into a glass. Now, we're going to start with just doing volume with rectangular prisms and cubes. So when we take a look at a rectangular prism or cube, we're looking at the length times the width times the height. Basically what we're doing is if we were to fill water in this container, pretend this is an aquarium, and water is being poured into this aquarium. The water will fill the base, the area of the base first, and then it will start filling up the height. So how we measure volume is we look at the length and the width, which is actually our base, okay? And then our height. That is our third dimension, our height. Now, volume is measured in cubic units, okay? We can write it as cubic units, or you could also write it as units cubed or units to the third power. Okay, so when you're thinking of volume, think about filling things, alrighty? So to take this example right here, we have the length of 12 inches, we have the width of 6 inches, and the height of 4 inches, all right? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the area of our base, which is 6 times 12, and we get 72, and we just simply multiply that by the height. So this is 72 and times 4, and we get 288 inches cubed. Remember, those are cubes. We're filling it up, so they have to have some kind of volume to fill it up, like an ice cube is a cube. Alrighty, so that's kind of a synopsis of volume. So let's take a look at surface area. Surface area is just the area of the three-dimensional figure. So if we were to take a look at this particular frame, surface area would be the area of this front side. Then we also have the same area of the back. Then we'd have the area of the side, which is the same area as the other side. And then we'd have the area of the top as well as the bottom. So with a rectangular prism, we have 6 areas that we have to find, and then we would add it up. Alrighty, so in order to do that, remember, we're just doing area of 6 different sides of this rectangular prism or of a cube. Now the difference between a rectangular prism and a cube is that a cube has all equal dimensions. Alrighty, so we're taking the area of each side of the three-dimensional shape, and we're adding all those areas up, okay? So basically, if we were to think of a cheat word or a code word, we would think of the word wrap. Sorry about that, boys and girls. We would think of the word wrap, okay? So I always say filling and wrapping, alrighty. So when you take a look at the rectangular cube, we're looking at the length times the width of each face of the shape. Now remember, a face of a shape is the flat side of the shape. So we're taking length times width times height. We're getting all of those. We're doing the length times the width. Well, the length times the width is going to be your top and the bottom. Now, because you have the same area on the top as you do the bottom, you've got to take length times width and multiply it by 2. Then if you take your width, and then we have our height, that's one side, and then the other side, so we have width times height times 2, and that's this side plus this side, okay? Then we have our next, which is length times height, so we have length times height, which is your front as well as your back. So to make it easy, because it seems a little complex with all of this, I like to call it the heart method. So if you put down your numbers, length, width, and height, so you basically just put down your dimensions, 12, 6, and 4, you're going to multiply 12 times 6, okay, multiply it by 2 because we have 2 equal areas. Then you're gonna multiply 6 times 4, multiply it by 2 because you have 2 equal areas, and then 12 by 4. Multiply it by 2 because you have 2 equal areas. So basically here, I've expanded it out. 12 times 6, this is 12 times 6, it's your bottom, and then you have your top. That's why you multiply it by 2. Then you have 6 times your 4, side and side, multiply it by 2, and then you have both sides. Then you have your 12 and your height, which is your front and your back, multiply it by 2, so you have your front and your back, and then you have those 2 areas. So basically, once you do that, you get the products of each one of those and you just simply add them up. So basically what you're doing is you're taking your 3 dimensions and you're multiplying each dimension by another dimension. So you have 12 by 6, multiply it by 2. 6 by 4, multiply it by 2. And then you haven't done 12 by 4. Take that, multiply it by 2. Get all of those products, add them all up. That is the surface area of the entire rectangular prism. And again, the units that we use are squared units because it's a flat area, because we're just wrapping it. We're not filling it. We're wrapping it. We're taking 6 areas and just simply adding them up. Alrighty, so I know you're doing this in your math classes as well. Hopefully this is just another review just to help you. I'm going to be online tomorrow, so stay tuned and I will talk to you tomorrow. Thanks, bye.